Dry eye vlog number 2. We're going to be looking at my Scleral lens. This is how you take it out. I'll show you how to put it in and a little tips and tricks that I've learned that make things a little bit easier. Okay, so taking out, I usually do this before bed, but sometimes I have to do it midday if I get a little bit of fogging. Fogging tends to be proteins from the eye. Some debris tends to go into the liquid that's in the lens, or the lens dries up a little bit. So taking the Scleral lens out, in my bathroom right now, I am going to start off with the sink. So plug in. You don't want the lens going down the plug. Stuff. So, saline. Plunger. We get a towel just to catch anything. Some people like to use a darker colour just so they can see the lens easier. I like having a lighter colour towel for when I'm putting the lens in, because I like a lighter colour shining through this, which is what I use to actually put the lens in. Right now we're taking the lens out, so we're going to be using this little plunger here. So, plunger, Scleral lens is in. We have the saline solution. You put a little dab of saline solution on the plunger in the end. And what you want to do is you want to get both lids as wide open as you can. Get the plunger. I've just got a mirror here, so I'm just going to look in the mirror first so I know where I'm going. And it's somewhere like here. So it plonked on at the bottom half of the lens. Now some people say you just pull it out and move upwards, but that doesn't seem to work for me. I have to sort of move it around a little bit to get it loose, and then up and out. And there's the lens right there. And that's it out. Forgot to mention, once it's out, it goes back in its little cleaning cradle thing that you get with the cleaning solution, which I'll show you. Hydroglide Clear Care Plus, or as it's known in the UK and Europe, it's AO Sept Plus. I got the Clear Care Plus from Amazon because you got 2 of these. I don't know why they sold the American version of it there, but you get 2 basically for the price of 1 at the minute anyway. And with each pack of this you get 1 of these. What this does is it cleans off all the proteins and the debris from your lens, and you have to fill it up to the line. There's a fill line, plonk this in, and it basically cleans it, starts fizzing. So I forgot to mention that these things come with what looked like a vent at the top, but it's sealed now. I think it used to have a vent, and people complained that the liquid would spill out if they were transporting these. So they sealed it, and what I was told was never, when you've got the liquid in here, never screw it on tight. Just screw it on like so it's loose, so that when the liquid fizzes, it doesn't explode basically. If you tighten the lid, as the instructions say, the fizz will come to the top and the pressure will build. Just loosely put the lid on overnight. Before that, it's acid, so do not put that in your eye. It's like, what is it, peroxide, hydrogen peroxide. So yeah, don't put that in your eye. So we're going to pretend that I've opened this, put my lens in this, and it's gone into this. But what we're actually going to do now is do the opposite. We're going to put the lens in. So we're pretending that this is start of the day. I have my lens, and we're now taking it out of the now saline solution, and we're going to put it in. So with my eyes, I have irregular eye shape, so my lens is sort of customized to be it needs to be a certain way around. How we normally see which way around it is there's a dot. There's either 2 dots or 1 dot. Sometimes that's to determine which eye it's going in, but for me it's which way around it is on my eye, and the dot goes at the bottom. However, the manufacturer forgot to put the dot on mine. There is no dot. Okay, all I've got is a serial number that has to be at the top, and the serial number is almost impossible to see. It's like a millimeter wide. So I've got to put the light on. 1 second, everything will change. There we go. And I've got to look at it in the light and find where it is. So that's at the top. So the number is at the top, and that is how I find out which way around this goes. So I use this stuff, which is Hylo Forte lubricating eye drops, and I start out with this. This is a little trick that the doctor told me to do. You put some of this in the palm of your hand, a few drops, and then you clean the lens with it, and it sort of coats the lens all the way around, inside and out. With these artificial tears, and that helps wet, what they call wetting the lens. So when I first tried one of these on in the doctor's office, it wouldn't wet and everything looked foggy all the time, until we started doing this, and this solved 90% of the problems that most people seem to have on the forums about these lenses. So you've got to make sure you've got a good amount spread evenly over, especially around the edge of the lens. Just makes it more comfortable. Now, because I don't have the dot anymore, I've got to recheck while it's slippery, which is really annoying. Turn the light on, to find where that code is again. There, so I found it. So now I use the plastic container that the plunger came in, and I put it on top of it, like that. Just make sure it's fairly even. Can you see that? And then we use the saline, and we fill it, and we fill it and fill it and fill it and overfill it. Make sure it's overly filled. Okay, overly filled. And again, the key to getting this in properly is really clamping your eye open and making sure those lids do not come down at all. And then you plonk it in. There we are. And it's in. And you'll see my eye gets really irritated. When it's in. See how red that is? That will go down, and it'll be uncomfortable for like a minute or two, and then while all the extra salines are running out my eye, but I'll be able to see. I can see. So that's the price to pay. You've got to put up with doing that day and night. But then you'll be able to see again, which is good. You can get some fancy inserters that basically just stand still upright, and you can use both hands to clamp your lids open and lower yourself onto them with a little light shining through. I don't feel the need just yet. This seems to work fine, and it's easier to carry around. Use the preservative-free eye drops to lubricate the lens. That really, really helps everything.